Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. I'm gonna guide you today through everything step by step, guys. This should be a very helpful video for you guys to finally understand this powerful concept. I'm also teaching this in my inner circle with a bunch of other things in order to really wrap everything up, because only using one single concept will not really make you too much profitable. You gotta have multiple models. But in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can actually backtest this concept and how you could implement it in your personal trading strategy. And it's going to be full of nuggets, so make sure to write everything down and to enjoy this video. Let's go, guys. So very basic and simple. I want to go over the theory first. This is also how I teach it in general, because it's very important that you understand how this concept should work and so on. We all know it's not gonna always look like this in the practice. This is why I think you really need a mentor who can guide you through different market phases. This is also the tricky part of it, because you have always a few variations. Now, understanding the theory is not really very important, right? Because you have to know how to put everything together, right? The theory is something which just gives you opportunities, right? And you gotta then be the one who is gonna use it the right way. But I'm gonna guide you right now through all options and variations of it, and this is gonna really change a lot for you. So I'm gonna get started with the accumulation phase. Most people don't even understand what an accumulation is. Very quickly, an accumulation is basically just when price moves back and forth. So it's accumulating positions. So for instance, price goes lower, pushing up higher, lower, higher, and so on. So it's not really deciding where it wants to go. Now, after this sequence has been finished, the price will start with the manipulation, right? So you can always see that in the price. At some point, price will now start running the highs or the lows. For instance, in this case, it's running the lows, and then it's gonna go up higher. And many people will be now multiple times trapped in the situation if you are not ready for it, right? If you don't know how to zoom in and how to zoom out. It's super important that you have a look at this, because when the market is creating this accumulation, it's creating liquidity down below and it's creating liquidity at the top. And that is what we call buy side and sell side liquidity. So the market wants to run those. This has a lot to do with how market makers are pairing buy positions with sell positions. There is no other way out than doing this type of thing. This is how every market in the world works. And this is super important. That doesn't mean right now that you are the smartest trader and you can always like trade right now this bottom over here till this top. This is something you can trade, definitely, but you gotta need some models which you have to overlay over it, right? You can also use this kind of thing on the lower time frame as well. This is right now, for instance, something like the 1 hour if you want to say, but you can also have a look at this model only on the M1 time frame, which is going to be a little bit more tricky to then always understand where the market direction is going to head to. So I always recommend you to go combine higher time frame with lower time frame. So now that we are in the manipulation, what is price doing? Well, basically it's running the highs and the lows. But, and that is super important, it's not gonna do that every single time. It's not just gonna run every single day, the high first, then the low, or the low first, and then the high. No, it can look in multiple variations. This is why you gotta backtest this tool a lot. Like, this concept is super powerful, but you gotta go through many examples by your own. This is why the life as a trader is so hard. This is why you can't just learn the concept like in this video and then get profitable instant. It's gotta require a lot of work for you to put in first. But as we understand now, we run in this case the lows, we run at the highs. So what are we expecting? Well, the next phase, which is gonna be the distribution. And the distribution is gonna be that one phase which is gonna bring price all the way down, right? So it's gonna like dramatically drop in one side of the market. And that is exactly what the most traders like the most to trade. Also by myself, I'm a really big fan of trading distributions. However, it's very hard sometimes to really understand when you are in a distribution or if you are still in the manipulation. A manipulation phase can be super cheeky, and in the manipulation stage is exactly that one where most of the traders are losing their positions. Because just to go back to it to further understand this market movement in this case, we can see that the price first broke structure to the downside, which will tell us that we should take the shorts. But what happens is actually the price is going to break structure back up. So that trader already lost his position. maybe he's opened up his stop loss, and this is exactly the problem what most traders have, is they can't respect their risk management. So they're gonna open up stop loss here, then they're gonna put it here, then they're gonna put it here and here, until the market is just gonna take them out, because it's the manipulation phase. And the manipulation phase is probably one of the hardest to trade as well. It requires a lot in order for you to really spot the right reversals. Like in this case here, like where is the reversal, right? Now, here might be a reversal, here might be a reversal, here might be a reversal, here might be a reversal. So there are a few variations on how to view that, and that makes it not easy at the end. So you gotta understand how to follow that with your overall trading edge, right? This concept just tells you what the market is supposed to do. This is what I want to like grab the attention to in this video, because most people will now go to the market, will see this model everywhere and gonna treat it as the holy grail. But no, it's just a layer that you can put over it. If you don't have all the other parts that will make it at the end profitable, you're gonna just end up losing, right? It's not gonna give you the desired results, because this model, I learned this probably my first year of trading already, just with different names, different phrases, different versions and so on. And at the end, it took me a while, like multiple years at the end, to know how to put it together. So I hope that you like this video right now. So give it a like, because it's really a lot of knowledge I'm dropping right now here, which will definitely help you if you really listen carefully to what I say in this video. So back to the manipulation. This is why we also call it manipulation, right? Not just because it's running like the lows and the highs of the accumulation phase, but also because the intention of the market structure at that moment seems to be the different one, which is at the end gonna move. So it's like playing with you, right? Like it goes down, you try to short, it go back up, you try to long, and then it's going back down, and it's gonna do it out of a sudden very often. Because you gotta understand, the market volatility will be increased dramatically in the distribution phase, because the manipulation phase is like the pre-move or something, like it's just initiating the move. It's already like filling in the positions. That is the phase at the end, right? We call it manipulation because for us retail traders, it looks like our strategy don't work in that phase anymore. But it works if you have the eye for it. For the market makers, it's exactly what they need. Otherwise, they could not even take this trade. They need to pair their buy orders with their sell orders. And that is exactly what happens over here. Because for instance, in this situation, just for you to understand what institutions are doing, they want to bring price down, right? The idea is, in this case, the higher time frame. The higher time frame is, for instance, bearish. So it's going to happen like this, kind of. And it's gonna drop lower. So you wanna spot this behavior, because the market maker, in order to bring price down lower, if this is right now the higher time frame, let me just show you an example right now. What I mean with that is that if price, now this is the higher time frame, and they wanna like bring it down like this. So this is actually our accumulation plus manipulation plus distribution just on the lower time frame. So it's gonna look like this in our model, like this. This is the accumulation, right? Then we got the manipulation or something, and then we got the distribution. This can look very different, right? But inside of this, or this entire thing from here till here, you can actually spot very often a model like this. And I will show you then a very good example for that. But this is basically the situation, right? So in order for them to be able to bring price down lower, they have to bring it first back up, because they need to pair buy orders with sell orders every single time. They cannot buy if there's no one to sell it from, right? So someone has to sell it so I can buy it, all right? And if I want to buy, someone has to sell. Always the same. This is how the market principle works. It's like they gotta give a handshake, right? It's the same thing with Bitcoin and so on. Like many people are always confused why the price is sometimes so high, and it's going up higher because nobody want to sell it at that moment. So the price is going up higher and higher because everyone wants to buy it. So automatically the price will increase, right? Where when the market is not attractive anymore, where nobody want to buy it anymore, it's gonna drop so much to the downside till the first one is ready to give the Bitcoins back. And that's usually when the price then will start to retrace. And depending on the market dynamic, if more buyers are gonna join, it's gonna continue to go up higher. If not, it's gonna actually just keep dropping lower in order to make the proper retracement pullback, or even a total reversal because something fundamentally has happened. And this right now alone should tell you exactly that trading doesn't work with a 100% win rate strategy or something like that. Of course, you can come very close to something to understand how market works, how dynamic works, but at the end, it's all probabilities. And you gotta just put everything in your favor, right? Like a model like this is super powerful if you can spot, because it actually just shows you how market makers have to operate. And you just follow that like a little fish, right? The big whales give the direction, they create everything for you, and you just spot like what they're doing right now, and you're like, oh, I got it, I have the knowledge, I understand now this concept, super powerful, I can swim with them, right? You can't trade against them or something, you just have to swim with them, and this is gonna give you very incredible trading opportunities at the end. All right, so manipulation, as I just said, is a little bit tricky because it's gonna guide you sometimes in different directions, and you don't know right now what to follow. Because also right now here, price moves like this, you will believe, hey, the manipulation has been done over there, right? So you try to buy, correct, but what if price is gonna sell down? So keep at least this from this video, that it's possible to go in both directions. At the end, if you've done the proper analysis, your win rate is automatically higher than those ones who believe every single time after this happened, it's gonna just go up. So the key secret is in this case actually to pair it with the higher time frame. If you can do that, if you can spot there's something interesting such as liquidity or something like this, or some structure levels that get supported by this, order flow, then you can actually increase your win rate like crazy, because you know then what price can do. But also here, if you have something significant, it might lead to a potential reversal. Keep these things in mind. Now we're in the distribution phase, guys, and in the distribution phase, what price is about to do is actually to continue in the right direction. And this is usually that one market phase that if you are from the start on the right direction, you're gonna profit massively. You can really bank big moves. The problem is just if you don't know that this is the right direction and you're gonna catch it quite late, such as here or such as here, it can start making a deep pullback. And that deep pullback can look something like this, can stop you out, and then it's gonna run lower. It's gonna like run some form of liquidities whatsoever. There are a few sequences on how price can operate over there, and this is why I'm always recommending you that if you can spot the trade from around the beginning of the distribution, maybe already at the end of the manipulation, if you can see there the direction, take that trade. It's gonna be much more beneficial for you to capitalize on that one and to better not trade the distribution if you are too late. If you understand where price has to distribute and you can catch it quite at the beginning, jackpot. You will make a lot of pips in this case. You can catch a lot of big movements, and of course I would recommend you to maintain a quite big stop loss. Not too small, right? Not too big, medium, right? And that is gonna benefit you a lot at the end, right? The problem is also, don't wait for too much pullbacks or something, because in a distribution phase, this thing is gonna take over. But also, keep in mind that price will leave you POIs, will leave you liquidity, which essentially will be grabbed at some point. You just gotta understand which levels market can hit in order to then start with a reversal or something. All right, but this is now quite advanced accumulation, manipulation, distribution theory that I just told you right now over here. Please put this into backtesting and you will see how your trading will change. Now, I want to give you an example from today, which I traded by my own, and that was this year. Now, you would say, Darius, but maybe this doesn't look to you like an accumulation. Yes, this is the trickiest part, I would say, if you just started out with this theory, right? I don't know right now if you're a beginner or not. Maybe you're already in this video and you will be right now super happy that you don't just learn right now some basic things. You've learned already something very advanced, something that I use the same thing like I just explained it right now to you. An accumulation is when price moves back and forth, right? And this is what happened already here, right? You can see how it's moving back and forth, and you can also see how price starts to run the first liquidity over there. So I'm just gonna now put this now in a color or something that you can clearly see that. This for me the first phase of the accumulation. This now is the manipulation, where you see price takes this liquidity and then all the way to the top. This is right now for me the manipulation. This is what I traded, for instance, by my own. But I closed my trade already as soon as price went above the accumulation. A little bit above it, can remember somewhere here or so. I entered here in the market when we've seen here price establishing here this bullish order flow, right? You see here this bullish order flow. I just jumped on this and then I closed at around 70 pips. So it was a quite good move at the end, which I was able to capitalize on. 70 pips. So at the end, somewhere here was the entry, 70, 80 pips. I can share you now here the screenshot of the trade that was taken. Yeah, stop loss like this. It was not my biggest RR in this case. I think it was about around a 1 to 2 at the end. I tried to catch a 1 to 3, but it's all you need, right? If you still believe the thing with the high risk reward from the SMC, then I'm gonna make a video. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to take a video about risk management, money management, and how this big risk reward is just more marketing than real trading. I've been in the same bubble before, but it doesn't work, guys. So that was my trade. As you can see, I could not take out the profit at the top, and it was also not my intention to be able to get that. Also with the distribution at this day, for instance, I wasn't sure by myself 100% if it's going to be bullish or bearish. We had POIs for both sides. In this case, very neutral position from my point of view, but we can clearly see how the price then actually started to break structure to the downside and starting this new bearish order flow. That's exactly what you could maintain in this case. You can see how price then grabs here these equal highs, pushing up higher. Looks like it's gonna run all the way to the top or something, and then it's melting down very aggressively. And this is what I meant with that the market, when it wants to drop during a distribution, it's gonna drop, and it's gonna be very tricky for you to understand when it's gonna stop. Because what happened right now is dropping. Now you would say, hey, I'm hopping on the train, but what happens? Price will then again trap you, manipulate you higher, grab you, and will then keep dropping towards the right direction. So distribution phases can be sometimes very tricky to trade, sometimes super easy. If you think this is a very interesting theory and you want to learn more about how to use this in practice with a proven trading edge, which I'm trading by my own right now for over 2 years or something. Now I'm already 6 years in the market, but for around 2 years, I'm trading actively models like this. Then check out the link in bio, because you will get their access to the best trading community out there from my point of view, where I'm also sharing every day my live analysis. I go live with you on Discord as well, and I'm always making trade recaps on each trades that I took by myself or which you could take, right? Because I'm not always perfect. I'm also gonna miss out on trades multiple times, but this is exactly the phase where you can learn. All right. Let me show you maybe another example just to see a different perspective to it. For instance, this is the same kind of thing you see here in accumulation. Price then manipulated lower and it's pushing higher. This is, for instance, the accumulation, the manipulation, and then this entire move up, right, till here or wherever you want to count it, depending on how you view it on which day. This is then the distribution. But you see that on the way up, the price is just repeating the same kind of thing, because now this is the manipulation. You can say, hey, the moment when it breaks, it's over, and now the real distribution takes place, for instance, from here till here, because now what price is doing is actually now again starting to accumulate, right? Pushing higher towards everything, and then again, accumulation here, manipulation here, distribution here, and so on. The market just repeats this model over and over and over again. Sometimes easier to see, sometimes not. Here in this case, you can clearly see this is a higher time frame one, right? Big accumulation, but you see that the manipulation didn't really took place. Like, it's just distributing. This can also be the case, because then you gotta interpret it a little bit different. You can like view the things like this, right? This is then your accumulation, right? You see that now it's over because it's breaking structure, it's ready to push, making another accumulation, breaking structure, and then this is the distribution at the end, right? Like a clean manipulation did not really happen in a situation like this, but it's not important, right? But this is the issue sometimes also with this, because people will then the entire time just try to wait for the manipulation, right? Which is good. It's better for you to wait for something instead of trying to just be fast in it, right? Like in this case here, accumulation, right? And then the market just takes over. But this is like also the weakness of this model, right? Because people will try to tell you this is the best model in the world. Yes, it's super powerful for real, but it's not gonna be every single time the way and how you believe it's gonna be. In this case, it has a lot to do with the higher time frame, right? This is where price is doing a lot of things based on the higher time frame. You just gotta be able to recognize that and to read it the right way. In this situation, you could not wait for the manipulation to take the trade. No, you have to hop on the trade. You gotta understand that this is the distribution, right? You have to understand that this is what the price wants to do, because here, price provided you some trap zone, some equal highs, some external liquidity, right? Some higher time frame to the left where the price has to tap into, which it has to rebalance, and so on, right? You gotta combine then all the things that you know, and that is gonna then give you the highest outcome, right? So hope you like this video, guys. Just give me a little bit of feedback in the comment section and let me know what kind of concept you want me to break down in the next video. I'm happy to help, guys. Share this with your friends so they do not miss this incredible video about accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. It changed a lot for me in the past. And as I just mentioned, I'm teaching these things more into the depth in my inner circle, where you will then get the entire theories of other concepts. Because as I just said, nothing is here the holy grail, even though it looks sometimes like this. And I want to highlight this one more time, how important it is for you to really understand that the holy grail does not exist. Let me know if you want me to talk about holy grail also in the next videos. Let me know everything in the comment section, and see you next time, guys, with a new YouTube video. Bye bye.